The video you're about to watch was recorded between August 2022 and today, which is December 2023. As the title suggests, it's about the maintenance of the intake manifold runners on the engine of this seatleon Cupra I have right behind me. So DNUC engine. And what was my journey back then, because most of the video is back then in 2022 and what I changed in 2023. I also went through some challenges and some dramas, and I would like to also highlight that I used to perform this task every 10,000 kilometers, and now I'm performing this again after 20,000 kilometers. So relax, sit, grab a drink, because this is gonna get really long. So thank you very much for watching if you're still there, and see you in the next one. Hello, it's me again. And yeah, we need to work on this guy today. It's gonna be maintenance. The car is around 25,000 kilometers. I already performed an oil change and the PCV valve change. And now I was thinking, hey, should I just rebuild injectors again to see what's the difference between last year and this year? Sure. So one of the things I took into account is that I am not driving like a mud driver. I just use this car as my daily. Usually there's a lot of traffic, and from time to time I just give it a nice spin just to see if the whole engine just works fine, if the car responds as I expected, and so on. So I said, well, maybe it would be nice to see the difference and also record a detailed process in which I am going to show you step by step what I do in order to get to the engine manifold and all the injectors. Of course, I will clean injectors deeply, and I will try to do it outside the engine. And I'm going to show you also what's the hardware I'm going to use, what I had to buy, and the cost. Here we are. I went to the dealer this time and I asked for real OEM parts. I got the injector supports, all the O-rings and little seals that I need to change for the 4 of them. Also, because of all of this process, there are parts that need to be replaced on the go or renewed, let's say, as per manual says. So this here is for the fuel rail and the connection towards the fuel pump. Why do we have to change it? I have no clue, but I'm gonna check. If it's a lot of hassle, then we'll stay where it is. Something we need to change is the screws for the high pressure fuel pump. It's already here, and these are not expensive. And then, because it's around 30k, I'm gonna change the seal for the throttle body. How am I planning to clean the injectors? Well, I heard very good things about these two. So you have a K1 component and K2 component. What you do is you spray a foam into a, let's say, a rather high temperature environment, and then once the foam, you clean everything with the foam, it's supposed to be very, very, very fast reacting, and then you need to neutralize this chemical component with a neutralizer. And I said, well, let's try to give it a go this time. And then this one is from the last year. I still have it here. I'm pretty sure it's gonna help me a lot, but this is like a chain cleaner, like a brake cleaner. It's very good. This is a carb cleaner, by the way. And then of course this one, in the end I will place this one in the engine, because it's not just the injectors what you can find in the oil and the fuel system. There's many other components, but for this very video we're gonna focus on the injectors. You may wonder how much I paid for all of this. Well, make a guess, but I think it was around 100 euros, 50 euros, and this from the last year. Well, this one, no, this is like 12 euros too. So yeah, just add them up and it's quite a bit of money. And first step will be to jack up the car. Car is jacked up in park mode and in a flat surface. Now you may wonder, why do I have to jack up the car if we are working on the manifold? It doesn't make sense, right? Well, two things. We need to remove the water reservoir and the tank, which is right below. You need to make sure it's empty. I emptied it myself, I think for the last 3 months or so, using the washing liquid, so that's good. why do we need this? Because at some point we may need to rotate the engine, and we have access only from this side right below. We may need to remove the wheel and the wheel arch itself, so you have direct access to the crankshaft, so you can rotate the engine, so you can clean everything properly. And I jack up the car just because of that very reason, and because we will need to remove some intercooler pipes, and from below it's way easier this way. So let's start by removing the airbox and the top of the water reservoir. I also took the freedom to remove the engine top cover and the bottom cover too. The bottom cover I did it before I jacked up the car, or when you jacked up the car a little bit on one side, because otherwise I cannot fit the jacks. To remove the airbox, you have 1 and 2 clamping points in which you have to pry a lot and pull. Just be strong on this one. I think I'm gonna take the freedom to remove this front one too, because it will give me more room for my hands later. I have big hands, unfortunately, for this. And then for the water reservoir, the top one, because the bottom one is right there, for the top one you just need to remove this. There's a hex screw here, and then you just pull the top of the reservoir up. Just be gentle. So now this front of the airbox and front wheel, and probably the whole wheel arch, it will come out. Front of the airbox is removed, only 2 screws, one here and the other one here. You need to pry out a little bit, and you see now we have a lot of room here. Now next, the wheel arch itself. I thought I had to remove everything because last time I didn't do it, I didn't follow this way. But look at that, super cool, huh? Very nice, very well thought. Now with only this bit open, by the way, nice radiator there, I can get access to the bottom of the water reservoir, and I can remove, because right behind we have the crankshaft pulley. All right, the bottom water reservoir is out. One bolt here, another one here, another one here. Then you need to disconnect the water pump, and then you have to white the rear circuit and the front circuit on the front, if I'm correct, and then the plug too. Here you have a little bit of a clamping system. It's very easy to you see this top here, it's very easy to pull it up. Sorry for my gloves, I cannot find the other ones. It's very easy to pull it up with your fingers, so no need for tools here. The only thing is, the moment you disconnect the one from the front, I believe, you will get some spillage. And of course, there she is, our crank pulley. So up to now, the work we've been doing is what I called a pre-work. I'm preparing my work environment, so I have direct access to all the areas I'm expecting to work with or around to. I'm gonna follow strictly the manual to see where I get. Now it's time to remove this coolant hose. We need to disconnect it from the manifold, so this is the hex bolt we need to remove. So this was one, but there is another one right here. Right here. And what I like doing is, whenever I free up the hoses, if I can, I will try to place the screws back to where they were, so this way later I'm not wondering which screw is for what, or I forget, or I miss screws. The manual says it is recommended to disconnect the battery. I didn't do it the first time, nothing happened. Just be my guest. Now we need to go on the throttle body side. We need to still disconnect some bolts. I will show you somewhat down there, and also the inlet to the inlet manifold. Now we need to loosen this clamp right here for the coolant hose. From the clamp, it's out. And then we have a few more. It's gonna be impossible to show. Well, since I cannot really show, you see this charge pipe right here, right? This is the outlet from the intercooler. So this is fixed in 2 points towards the throttle body. So there are 2 bolts that you need to remove. There is one right here behind this pipe, and there is one up there. And don't forget to disconnect this pressure sensor too. Well, the screw is right here and it's non-losable. I think you can see it now. I couldn't really reach the other screw that is supposed to be down there, so I disconnected the pressure sensor, and I also loosened this worm bracket, and then this one too. Why? Well, bear in mind about the marks. You have marks here, the white marks. It should be certain alignment here, just to keep it. But now I can wiggle a little bit, and I can just take the outlet of the intercooler or the charge pipe. I can just take it out. There you go. And by loosening this one, I get a bit more play. And I think now I should be able to continue because I have more room. I think this is the worst part whatsoever. The rest is just a piece of cake. The manual I'm following is from the model from 2016, and I doubt there is another screw some there. What I'm trying to do now is I loosen the worm clamp from the throttle body, and I will try to wheel from below. And a tip is try to always leave the screws very much reachable, otherwise later you will have a very bad experience or fun experience, depends. You really need to pull from below. From one hand, you need to just insert it from this side and try to pull. Not very hard, because otherwise you will harm yourself, and then everything comes out this way. Now, this was easy. Let's see who is the brave man that will place this back into the throttle body later. Now there are 3 connectors here that we need to disconnect. So 1, 2 behind, and 3 here. So I have removed 2, 1, 2, and then the other one is the third one, which is basically here. But this one was a bit painful. You see there's a top here, but it's facing downwards like this, and sometimes with my fingers I cannot really reach it. So what I do is I just take a hook like this for electronics and then pinch it a little bit and push back. It's just perfect. I mean, you don't need to do any effort here, no effort needed. So now I see there is another one here in the rear. You see it in yellow, this one here. I think I'm going to remove it too. And also I would recommend to remove this clip from here, because all the wiring is attached to the manifold. It needs to come out. With all of them removed, you can see them, and the clip out, we need to go on the top of the manifold. From here you can see there are 2 bulbs that are really bothering us. Well, first this pressure sensor, just take it out. It's very easy. That's it. Then this inlet for the high pressure fuel pump, we need to remove it. Just place a rack here and be careful, because my battery is connected, you know, as spark, blah blah blah. And then this hose here is super stiff up from here because it's a rigid pipe. In the end, what I did is I loosened these 2 bolts here, this one's here, so I get a bit of play. I couldn't really remove this bracket because it's all super tied up, and the cables are so tight, it's incredible. And then what I did is for this one, you see now it's wobbly. There is 1 bolt right here, and there is 1 bolt right there, here. And for that one, I managed to just squeeze this on the one side a little bit, and then with this T-shaped tool, I managed to get access, you can see. So this one is out. Now, time for this one. There it is out. Sometimes you can get a little bit of a spillage because there's some back pressure here. I placed some socks, old socks here. This is what I have, and some napkins, and now everything just smells like gasoline. I like the smell. That's good. So now we can continue. What I would do is just to block the pipe on one side, so I don't get oil fuel spillage everywhere, and I will remove the pipe and just put it aside on my left hand side. There's no more pipe anymore. What I do is just remember to remove it from this clamp, and what I tend to do is just place it there. So it's laying here. It's not going to bother me anymore. And of course the top always facing upwards because there is fuel in the system. Now we need to connect this vacuum line, and we can start from the side already. So we need to disconnect this inlet charge pipe, I will call it this way because this goes to the intercooler and gets out from the turbo, so it's a pressurized pipe. And we have a warm clamp right there. I have a screw here. They are non-loosenable screw, so that's good. And then there's one more hidden down somewhere there. Alright, I must say I still don't really understand why I do have to remove this inlet pipe, but anyway, this captive screw was removed. On the rear side you can see it has been disconnected, and the warm clamp I just reorientated towards the upside of the engine because it's way better to tie than to loosen. Then if we go here, we need to remove this one from the wiring. Okay, you need to pry a little bit. I don't know if I broke it, but anyway. And down there you still have some wiring here. There's another, you can see there's another clip and another clip here. Now I need to remove the inlet from below. There are two warm clamps. Let's go below and show you. So I was talking about this one here and this one here. Nice stainless steel, I like it. And before it comes out, we need to take this little bracket off. Alright, is it out? Yes, it is. It was a pain in the ass, and I don't remember doing this last time, and I think it's not really needed. So my guess is, yeah, let's see in the end, because I'm gonna struggle to place it there later and there later. Next step is to remove or unclip the high pressure side of the fuel pump. So this is the high pressure pipe, and then there's a clip right here. There's a little Torx, I think it's 30. We need to unclip it, and we need to play with this one here. We need to remove it, unbolt it. For that we need two spanners, and as far as I remember, we need to perform the torque action on the nut always, and this one, which is silver, not in the one that is bronze or copper. It is out. Well, it's not really out, it's disconnected. Here's the bolt. Oh, the nut is here. You might hear some decompression too, so just don't freak out. Now this is the fun part. We need to release, there's a bracket here, we need to release the bolt that is here, and on the other side in the engine block. Let me try to record both of them, but I remember it was a little bit of a pain. Let me give it a go. And the second one is right here, is this one. Yeah, you can reach it from below. You require this 12 notches tool, something like this. It's an M10, so this is the only special socket I have for now. The rest are just standard tools. This is the screw, just in case. Yeah, you cannot really remove the bracket because it's attached to some wiring, but I managed to loosen it and to remove from the original location, so we can proceed. Well, now we need to unplug the connector from the inlet, well, the manifold pressure sensor, which is here. This is gonna get a bit tricky, but I guess it's doable. It's as simple as using this is an ass savior. Honestly, this is the best tool I have. You just take the skewer, I just bend it 90 degrees, and then you just press a little bit. This connector has this sliding tab, and then you need to press a little bit, like I'm doing right now, and then choop, it just comes out. I guess you can also do it slightly later. And I think it's recommended to remove the oil filter, but I'm not going to do it. Now it's time for the connector for the throttle body. This is for the flap, I guess. Plus, what I will do is remove the other side of this socket, just get them loosened. Plus, we will have access, now we already have access to our screws on the manifold. We have 10 screws as far as I know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, because they are also like this, you can see. So we can remove the whole manifold. We're getting there. Look at that, it's already almost out. So now I need to wiggle a little bit because I haven't removed the oil filter, but I don't think that's a problem. But it's like this, a bit dangling somewhere. I guess this pipe here, the high pressure. Yeah, let me see. Give me a second. And I forgot to remove one connector more. It's a Hall sensor. Apparently it's this one here. So I just need to pull the top a little bit out. Yep. There you go. I think now I should be able to pull it out. See, my fingers are not good enough. So I need to use this. Guess now once I just press a little bit downwards, then you see, that's why I like this skewer. This is out. I don't think we have any more issues here or any more obstructing obstacles. Yeah, we still do have something. It looks like I also forgot to undo the other side of the pressure line. You see this one is loosened now. So it's this bolt here, the 17. Oh, sorry, it's the 17 right here. The same as next to the fuel pump. I'm almost there. There's only one more thing to remove, which is this connector housing here, which is basically attached to a frame that is attached to the manifold. It's supposed to slide this way. It also has a little tab that will lock everything in place. So what I did is pry from here with some pliers a little bit and then pull. There's one more thing that had to be removed. This one here. It has like a mechanism, like a little clamping system, like a belt. You just press the tabs on two sides and it will come out. And be careful with this one because this has such a small pipe connection here. So that's the last one. And there you go. We got the intake manifold out. Let's take a look at the cylinders. Well, cylinder 1, there's some goopy there. I think I didn't clean it properly last time. I wanted to see the difference between 1 and 2, which is slightly different. 3 I also managed to clean it last time properly, but you can see in the back of that bulb there is some goopy stuff there. I think it's a perfect scenario for testing our new system. Cylinder 4 is more or less the same as cylinder 1. Yeah, you can see some carbon buildup there. Flaps 1, 2, 3, 4 correspond to each cylinder, and this is the way it should be positioned. Always with this little notch facing upwards. You see, it's not exactly at the middle, it's always on the upper half. Yeah, same as last time. No big news here. Yeah, the intake manifold looks okay-ish. It's a bit dirty, you can see. I would like to clean it and remove this seal. Throttle body, I want to take a look at it on the other side. Remember, if you clean it, you need to adjust it or return it back to the basic settings. We'll need to do some adjustments. My goal was to remove the injector, so we need to continue. There's a sensor here, I believe it's a pressure sensor. We need to remove the connector, and then there are 2 bolts, one here and the other one there. We need to remove it all. And with this we will detach the the fuel rail from the engine block, but there is still some connectors to remove, so step by step. All right, let's try to pull this out. There's a lot of fuel coming out, and I will just place on one side some kind of container. Let's see if I manage to catch a little bit. Oh fuck. Jesus, it's a lot of fuel. This is the fuel rail, and this is the fuel. I'm going to just place it outside so it evaporates. Now, yeah, it's time to disconnect and clean a little bit. Sometimes you might find that the injector connectors are they feel a bit stiff. So, like this one, you have the top, the red top first. What I do is just pull out a little bit. That's it. You don't have to be super strong for this, and then you need to hear the click. That's it. And then what I do with this one, I pry a little bit from the top. I don't know if you will be able to see, but I just pry a little bit from the top, like this. And once I feel that it goes out a little bit, bang, that's it. Just be patient because this takes a lot of time. Now we can remove the crowns, I would say. 2, 3, 4. Oops, this one fell. These are supposed to be replaced. Something that you need to pay attention is if any of the O-rings, let me do this, whoop. If any of the O-rings that you can see here in blue on top of the injectors, they stayed on the fuel rail side. It's not the case, but last time I lost one and I still don't remember. I cannot find it. I don't know where it is. It was not on the rail side. It was not here. But now this is the big question. What should we do now? We need to remove these injectors, and it could take us some time. And for that, let me try with this one. Let's see if it comes out, because you need to pry up and down on the sides, and usually they come this way. If you pry up and down, it takes a lot of effort usually. I know there are other methods. I got 2 out of 4 out, and let me be honest, if you can, buy the kit to remove the injectors. Last time the engine was new, I guess, and I just pulled them out like with a little bit of prying. This time it's taking me a lot of time, and it's really annoying. I bought a kit, of course, to remove the injectors, but it turns out that is the second generation for the EA888 engine. It's not for this one. The injectors are in this one are completely different. We are talking about the DNUC engine. And of course, direct injection, not direct and multi-port injection. So that's my advice. Buy the kit. You will avoid headaches. And I bought the tools for removing the injectors, the injector puller and the hammer. Bear in mind that the injectors, like this one that I removed, they have 2 types, A and B, and I remember this one is type A. So you need a certain end of the tool. In this case is T10133-20. Yeah, this is the one I missed last year, plus the hammer, of course. So let's go ahead and try to remove one injector. Remember, last time, the 4 of them, it took me like 3 to 4 hours. This time is, we adjust the top of the tool, so the puller itself. We just place it in the end of the injector. You have some features at the end. You see them right there. You see, those ones, they need to be in contact with the metals part, stainless steel part on the injector, not the plastic part. So we just do this. And I recommend to do it this way, to place it this way on this side, because otherwise it will be in contact with the plastic part. So now we just need to, I'm doing it with one hand only, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I feel now it's tight, so I just need to pump, 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 and it will start coming out. So let me get a better angle. So I'm gonna do it this way. Pip. And there it is. Super easy, super easy. And for the price, I would recommend you to buy the tool. And by the way, this is how they look like after 20,000 kilometers. Let me see if I can get a better angle. There you go. Just to give you an idea, this is how one of the injectors, they are all like this, look like at the tip. And they are dirty, they are really dirty. Not obstructed, but dirty. So now I will clean them on the outside and on the inside. Much better. Now on the inside. So what I have here is the injector. I just clamp it here, but not too tight. I mean, you can move it. This injector, I broke it, you can see, by mistake. If you have this kind of motion here, that means yeah, it's not gonna make connection if it's like this. Now you need to press it, it's gonna have connection this way. So now, but it still works, so I can just do this. You can hear. And then I have here my car cleaner. I just placed this pipe from the other kit to clean the intake runners. So what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of pressure and you'll see how it goes. There you go. That's it. That one is clean. This stuff is really good. It's not smelly. It doesn't have any vapors that could harm you. It's really nice. So I'm gonna apply the foam and wait for 15 minutes. Alright, I've been waiting for 5 minutes after applying the neutralizer. Just clear everything out. Yeah, I will dry with a kitchen cloth and no effort. Amazing. I also tested this stuff in cylinder number 2, so look at cylinder number 1, right? Let's move to number 2. Look at that. No effort. I haven't done anything else other than removing the rest of this component. Before we start, of course, what happened with those cylinders that are open or those that are closed? What do we do? Well, that's why we remove the part of the fender on the passenger side, and we have access to the crank pulley, so we can rotate the engine. How do I know that we are in top dead center or the valves are open and so on? Well, you can remove all the coils and place a threaded rod, and then you start turning the engine, the throttle will come up and the rod will come up, and at some point it will be like in a dead end for some time, and then it will just go back to its original position or go down. That's your top dead center. There is another way, and it's there are some grooves in the, I don't know if you will see them here, right there. I think it's shiny there. These are the grooves. Well, when the valve is almost on that groove, that means your intake chamber is closed, and that's it. You can just give it a go, and if there is a little bit of this liquid falling down, in the end it's not gonna be of a problem, but I'm talking about drops. Well, injector rebuild. So I have removed the O-ring and also the little retainer here. Now it's time to cut this nylon spacer with a blade. Just you need to just dig a little bit, not that much. You will feel that it's very viscose. It's very easy to cut through. I'm gonna do it from the outside now. There you go. Yep, that's all. It's out. But I think that's another reason why I had so much trouble to remove this injector. It's just because I used a third-party kit. It was from Bosch, but anyway. Now let's clean the interfaces a little bit more. And here too, just to be on the safe side. And I'm just going for the spacer retainer must be in. You can see how everything still comes a little bit dirty, which is good. Okay. Now, well, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna take this kit and take the most important one for me right now. which is this one, which needs to be placed at the tip of the injector. So what I'm going to do is take this part of the kit and just place it here, and then we have 3 different diameters here. There I have sorted them from the biggest diameter to the smallest diameter. So what I try to do is, usually I think the second one fits perfectly. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is try to bring this spacer towards the tip and then towards the injector itself. I think this is too big, then I want to take this one. It's better. I actually can do it with the rear side. It's even better. I think this one is even better. Yeah, the middle one. I think now this one will help even more. So now I'm preparing to insert this spacer into the injector itself. You see here there is a little bit of a hole, so you need to align it with the tip of the injector and press a little bit. Everything should go very smoothly. That's it. And I'm gonna go farther with this one. Need to go farther with another one. Yep, that's it. Done. You see now the injector is like a little bit of a ring. It's dangling there. We need to compress it again. That's why we need this kit, of course. Yeah, I pushed too much. Now I have the biggest of the diameters, but it's inside is conical, so I can push towards the inside. Don't do it too much because you don't want to go over this area. You just want to do it a little bit so you see how it compresses. Usually this ring needs to slide very smoothly, otherwise the material, you can deform it very quickly and it can just step into the side that you don't want it to be. So I'm just do like this. You see how it's coming back to its original shape. And then the second set of disc, this one, oops, yeah, this one may take a little bit. If I'm struggling, I just go back and try to reach the end. There you go. That's it. Now with the second one. It's way better. I will do the same here. Not that much. That's it. It's in a very, very, very good shape right now. And the last one has a little bit of a notch on the inside of the circle, so we need to push towards the end until the end, like this. You see, kind of go towards the inside. That's it. Injector is done. Plus, we still need to do blue retainer, which goes from the top like this, and I'll place it this way. It's the way it came from the factory. I'm trying to keep things as they are. This one. And the last thing, the O-ring. Later we'll add a little bit of silicone grease just to make it easier to engage with the fuel wire. There you go. DNUC engine injectors done. I would like to emphasize a little bit on how I did the injector rebuild. So taking one of these ones, this part here. So I have 3 different tools here. We have 3 different diameters. You can see that this is the smaller, this is the biggest one. And also they have 3 different sides. If I turn them around, they also have 3 different sides. First, we need to enlarge this O-ring, and then we need to compress it. So which side should I choose to enlarge or to compress? Well, this one here, you see there's a notch here. So this is the side that is used for compression. So if you really want to enlarge, we'll take one of these 3. Then you insert the O-ring on this side, and then it starts increasing its diameter the moment you start pushing it towards on my left. So you can do it here. You see it doesn't fit anymore because at some point it needs to slide through, and this is the notch you position against the injector nozzle, so the O-ring can be transferred to this part. So this one, it doesn't really work, no? Then if we go to this one, also you can see this just too much, there is too much play here. So what I tend to do is I place it here and I start pushing a little bit with my fingers, and then you can see that this one can slide perfectly through this side. So that's one. Once it's placed here, I need to turn everything around. So 1, 2, 3. It depends how big is your O-ring, that you may need to fit this injector in one of these holes. Yeah, it fits in through all of them for sure. Right now, yes, but usually what I do is I start with the biggest one, and then because they are conical from this side, so I will go from right to left, this side. If I don't feel any resistance, that means this is discarded. I need to use these two, for example, and then I will go from the biggest one to the smallest one always. And then this one has a notch, and what I realized is that when I press this one against this one, so I will just use this one, you could hear it. It cannot go further, so I just take it out, and I realized that this was still, there's some play here for sure, but it was still not as good as I expected. So you can also go back, I think this one or this one, they also have a bit more of they don't have this constraint here, this notch on the bottom, so you can use it for pressing this a little bit further, but just a little bit, and that's the way it works. Last one about the tools, because I finally bought the tools. I wanted to clarify what I did before, so I bought this tool prior to performing the injector rebuild, but I expected that these tools would work my engine, so the NUC engine, and these tools are meant to be for the Volkswagen Audi group engines in general. So from the whole set, I don't know if you can notice that this one here, I tried to rework this one in order to fit my injectors in, but it didn't work because it's too big, it's too tall, and also it was clashing from this side. I will show you in a second. And then from a whole tool, what I could use was, in the end, these 3 little tools and also this one to expand the O-ring. The rest I couldn't use for my engine. Then let's compare to the tools, official tools from Volkswagen Audi group. So we have the hammer here. It's the same hammer. Okay, this one looks way more beautiful. This is around 70 euros. So if you already have a hammer, because this is the same, it's exactly the same as the other one, same stroke, same weight, but it looks better for sure. But if you have this kit, you can already use the hammer, so you are saving 70 euros. In the end, you need to pay like 26 euros, I think, or 23 for this tool, which is the one that really goes for the injector type A on the DNUC engine. And you can see that if I put it against this one from the top, you can see that it's basically different. It's shorter, and also it perfectly engages with the injector here because of these notches. Some drama time. Remember, I think I explained before that this, when I was trying to get this one out, I was prying a bit too hard and I broke the connection. Well, this black part was basically dangling, and whenever it was detached from the rest of the frame, the injector wouldn't work. So what I did is I used Loctite 480 and I placed it on this edge here and in this one, because the connection is right here. And since it's a zero gap glue, it cures in about 15 minutes and it needs some moisture. Yeah, I applied it, I waited for half an hour, and it's all working, it's all perfect. So I'm gonna use it. Of course, I will use a set of O-rings on the outside that, in conjunction with the fuel rail, this interface here, they will make pressure towards the inside. So just in case, with a bump or something, I get this gets detached, it will not be able to get detached so easily. Plus temperature. The glue is supposed to handle quite some temperature, but I'm not sure how much temperature these injectors usually get. I'm pretty sure it's no more than, I don't think it's gonna be 250 degrees, but you never know. Okay, it is not perfection, but, oh, sorry, it's not this one. Look at that. Look at that. And look at that. If you look, what the important part is, which is the valve seats, they're still a bit dirty. But if you try to fill that gunk with some sharp object, it's all completely loose, and yeah, it will get absorbed by the engine in the end. I'm very happy because all of this is no sticky anymore. It's just loose, and yeah, I guess it's debris. It will end up, I hope it's not in the catalytic converter. All right, I have disassembled completely. Disassembled the intake manifold. Let's start and take a look at everything, because it's this part is being already almost 30,000 kilometers and I haven't touched anything. I was a bit worried about the throttle body and things like that. Well, nothing to worry about really. Let's start with this O-ring. Is going to be replaced, but it's perfect. It's not cracked. It's nothing. It's in perfect condition. I'm going to just keep it. This one is not advised to be replaced unless it's cracked or it feels brittle. It's perfect. So I'm just going to clean it properly and reinsert it. This is the throttle body. It's a little bit dirty, just a little bit. There's no grime or dirt accumulated on the other side. It's just wonderful. This is the side connected to the outlet of the intercooler. This is connected to the manifold. All of this that you can see here is, I would say, is the PCV valve there, just pumping air a little bit overloaded with oil particles. You can see there's a little bit of an offset. I think this one started already readjusting itself because of the grime. I will just use some brake cleaner, remove, or acetone is recommended. Remove everything and then we will proceed with basic settings later. This is the support for the cables. Yeah, nothing special. Screws. This is manifold pressure sensor. It's dirty. This will use a clean for sure. What do I see here? Well, this is the flap mechanism. You have the spring here. Here you have the little lever. This is a little bit bloated with oil. I will just ungrease. I will just regrease it. And in the manifold, just to show you everything, these are the flaps you can see. So they are dirty, not super dirty, nothing that will influence the engine's behavior, no problem. You're not losing 20 horsepower or things like that. And this is usually, you see, they do this and this depending on the demand from the engine. I guess this is by default when you have a low regime or just cruising, and when you really demand power, it will just open itself just to allow more air volume entering into the intake runners. I think I would like to give it a wipe. It smells like gasoline inside, of course, and everything looks a bit sticky. I will just do my best and yeah, clean everything, reassemble everything, and back it goes. Here I need to regrease this part with some silicone grease, and usually this diaphragm is the one that tends to fail. It's in a perfect condition, so after 30k it's really good. Intake manifold fully assembled and clean. These 4 screws for the throttle body, they need to go at 7 Newton meters. Alright, finished. All the interfaces clean, all the interfaces towards the injectors clean, intake runners, intake manifold, all the interface there, all clean, all perfectly clean. It took me a lot of time, but a lot of time. I don't know, like 2 hours, 3 hours. And yeah, this new chemistry is really good. I don't have to scrub a lot, but still, you need to do the work. So we start placing the injectors back to where they were. Now I'm on my way with the fuel rail. I have replaced this one here, which is supposed to be replaceable, and you need to renew it. I still don't understand why, maybe after 60,000 or 100,000 kilometers, but I replaced this not because I had it already. And it says 40 Newton meters for this one. I don't have the tool, so what I'm doing is, well, force times distance equals torque. So the force needed for a 0.185 spanner in order to apply 40 Newton meters is around 22 kilos. And I have here my hand luggage scale. So I think it's pretty easy. I need to apply 22 kilos, and then this goes back into the engine. Now I need to apply the brand new retainers on the top of all of the injectors. Plus with this one I wanted to place some O-rings, so this plastic part would be pushed against it, against the engine block, for potential bumps affecting this glue, which is everything super sturdy right now. But I'll see if the retainers will do the job. The protectors, the caps are here, and also the I applied some silicone grease. Now fuel rail needs to go back. And you can see that our injector is still hanging up there after 20,000 kilometers. Here, do you see the O-rings? This is not OEM, this is what I did, my solution. You can see this crown here doesn't have any O-ring, and here either. Well, I must say the car has been working perfectly, and now is the big moment. I would really want to check if this injector is okay or not. So if I take a look at this one and I just play a little bit around, you see it's completely fixed, no problem. So here we shouldn't see the same, but so in the end the glue did not work, or it failed, and what really worked was the bunch of O-rings I placed, the manifold making pressure towards the engine block. Because if I check this one also, you see, so it's time to replace the injector. This one, yeah, I know it's recommended to replace the 4 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna replace one. I want to see how it performs, and I'm pretty sure the rest are performing quite well, even though they are 40-ish thousand kilometers, and this one here is gonna be kilometer 0. Let's see how it performs the car, and otherwise I'll replace the other 3. 1 and 2, 9 Newton meters, plus connect the pressure sensor cable. Part of the manifold is in. It's perfectly interfacing with the engine block. There's no kind of obstacles or resistance. Tips and tricks. Do you see that connector there? Yeah, make sure that the cable is showing up, and it's something like here, like this, and it's loosened, because you will need to somehow place it back where it should be. This is a Hall effect sensor, as far as I know, for positioning of the flaps. Then, do you see these ones here? Remember, you have one here, a second one on top, and the rear you have another one too. All of this needs to be already placed in the bracket. And make sure that also you have the throttle valve sensor out. I'm sorry for the light. Yeah, you can see all the screws, everything is aligned. So now we need to place the screws for the intake manifold. And don't forget the vacuum line for the flaps and for the airbox. It's a module, it was just below and the rear. So this forced me to remove all the screws again. So it is done. Torque spec for these screws, for these 10 screws, is 9 Newton meters. You should make your way with some extensions, especially on this side here and right below here. After that, don't forget about this sensor, this one here, throttle body, then on this side to connect 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one here, 5, this one here, and I think that should be it for now. We can proceed with the next stage, which is to bring the fuel lines and to connect everything on this side. Next step is the support for the intake manifold. So you have one of these nuts here. This is supposed to be 10 Newton meters. You have a rubber bushing here.
And the other one is this one here. It's supposed to be 20 Newton meters. For the bolt up there, I couldn't. For this one, okay. This one here, 20 Newton meters is all good. For the 10 Newton meters, I just do it by hand because I don't have enough room there for a torque wrench. Next step is the connection from the fuel rail to the high pressure fuel pump. You can see here one of the bolts, and the other one is right here. These are 20 Newton meters. Then don't forget also about this screw here that will keep everything in place. And also don't forget about that you might pinch any connector, and you don't want that. First pain in the ass done. Few tips. Do it from below, not from above. I remove it from above and I don't like it. Before I tell you more issues, make sure you engage properly, but with the end. Then we have a screw here. Then we also have to route this cable properly. Then there is a clip here. Then there are two more down there. There's one more here, as you can see, and the other one is right behind. And then there's one more screw. I will show you where. The other screw is right here. I wouldn't go farther than 10 Newton meters with these ones. Plus, I was bending this coolant pipe, not this one small one, but the one, this big one, in order to remove this charge pipe, and I felt it's not right. And I tried to do the same just to put it inside, and it was yeah, it was a bit of a mess. And I forgot to open the coolant reservoir. Hence, I got this. I hope it's just fine, and it's just because of overpressure. You have like a release valve or something, because otherwise I'm gonna get mad, because I will have to remove everything again. It's the first time I see this kind of issue, and of course I didn't do. This is not a good practice to bend pipes that contain liquids, especially when you have an electric motor or pump that is not working right now, so you can build up pressure very quickly, and I think it's a release mechanism what it had. But anyway, let's continue. About the coolant leak, I think there is no explanation, right? This is what happened. After 20,000 kilometers, I started losing coolant, and I don't know where it comes from. And it all started, I must say, when I did the maintenance on the injectors after 10K. So there are a few things to tackle here. You have one here, all this, and I think it is coming. I don't know if you will see, there is a drop up there, you see? It's right below the coolant pump. So I need to somehow disassemble it, find out what happened there. Is this because of what I did? Maybe yes, maybe not. I have no clue whatsoever. Now the connection for the charge pipe, you have two worm clamps here and here. Just don't tie them too much. And remember about the marks, there should be a line here. Here there was no mark, but you cannot follow the same pattern. It's not twisted or something, so it's just good. Next step is the hoses. Low pressure side from the fuel pump is going. I have placed them in the rail, then all the brackets along with this. So these two screws here, these two screws here. There is one more right here, and then there is one more right here. I wouldn't give much, I mean, the torque shouldn't be more than 20 Newton meters. The outlet of the intercooler, so the charge pipe, this one, remember about the wormhole. Then underneath we have a bracket here. We have from the other side this one too. We also have to place a screw right here. Again, I would advise 10 Newton meters. Then remember to do this one here, and of course connect our friend the pressure sensor. This should be it. And lastly is the coolant pipe that was connected to the manifold, so one screw here and the other one right here. Yeah, it's plastic, not just snug fit, that's it. And then What's next? Well, all these pre-work or the environment preparation, or let's call it this way, items. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it here for now and proceed with the next step once everything is placed back. It's back in one piece. I'm scanning for errors right now. I don't know if you can hear this funny noise. I'll get some kind of device here working, and then I have pitch noise. I hope everything is okay. I'm just waiting for it to finish the scanning. 12 or 20 units. Now, first I will proceed with the throttle body adaptation. And this is, as you saw, there is no physical wire from here to the throttle. That's one option. There's another option in which you don't have a physical wire from the throttle to here, this is the case. And then there's a third option, which is a UDS protocol. I think that's the case of this platform. So we should have a basic setting here in which we'll tune the throttle body as it should be. Then it looks like we have one faulty control unit. I want to check what the problem is. Well, multimedia. Oops, sorry, no. Multimedia. What? Okay, navigation system, control module for instrument panel, insert optical data. Okay, that's all good. Press and hold. It's a bit slow. Now we go back, I guess here. It looks like we have that must be from before, 2 problems. It looks like we have no more issues, so everything is connected. We shouldn't have any issue, basically. But now I would like to see if we have a basic setting here, adaptation, basic settings, and then we should have here, maybe if I do here, throttle. Test of throttle valve adaptation. Let's see. Loading. That's it. Basic setting status, basic setting ended. And now we need to wait for 30 seconds. And this should turn like, hey, we're okay, or we just go back. So for our next test, I will switch off the ignition, and then I will disconnect all the coils, and we will try to build up some fuel pressure. So we disconnect the ignition. Yeah, the car goes bananas as always. Disconnect coil back. Oh, this is also hard. 1. I'm such a tidy person. 21 years later, I don't know why this one gets so stuck all the time. Okay, you see, it's loosened. So that's one. Now let's build up some pressure. I need the fuel pump connected so I can spray some petrol in there. You hear weird noises. Okay, 1. Whoa. That was fun. Was not expected. That means one of the coils is slightly connected, I guess. Anyway. I'm impressed. How come? Maybe because of the pressure. Now we connect all the coils again. And this should be it. Let's see, because I'm a bit scared with that injector. Now it sounds nice, the fuel pump. That's it. And she's alive. Gonna let it run for some time. Check for leaks. Also, there you go. I must say it smells weird. That's because yesterday I had The first cylinder is slightly open and I think some gunk got into it. I hope it's not messing up with the catalytic converter, but yeah, it doesn't smell weird here. It smells weird at the exhaust line. Let's take a look anyway. It's super hot today. That's it. No issue. Oh, it looks like it. God bless. I'm gonna let it run for some time. Check for leaks. So far, no issues with the coolant. You can see there is nothing. Let's see. No, there's nothing there. I think it was just a valve in there that will release pressure if the pressure is too high. It doesn't smell like gasoline, so it's good. We need to check for leaks in here. No drops in there. No drops in there so far. My super beloved cylinder, the one with the O-rings, is there. I see it's working. Well, I can see it's working. Otherwise, you will have a very weird sound or motion of the engine. It looks like everything is okay. Okay, we get two faulty control units. Of course, engine is one because I disconnected the coils. Let's see if the injector is working properly, which I confirmed. Faults. Yeah, you see, fuel delivery airboard coil A, coil B, secondary units. We can just clear everything. It's all green. And then, as always, here I always get this issue. Navigation system, database not enabled. I figured that even the clock, sometimes when I get up from the house, it's 1 hour before than it's supposed to be. I think it's some synchronization issue. Now it's green, but nothing that really affects my work. Okay, done. It looks like I'm finished. Very happy. No leaks. What about time? I have spent 3 days in a row working in this car because of all the issues, but in hours it's been around 20 hours because I've also cleaned part of the engine, different components and so on. So last time it took me like 8 hours, part of a night. I would advise you to have another car. Second, if you can buy the injector extractor kit, life is easy. And then have a loads of patience. The last thing is, what about the drama? What about this faulty injector? I glued it yesterday. It works very well. I checked it before and after gluing it. I know what the issue is. I also placed some O-rings there to make some pressure with the cups, and also the pressure, the pressure that the manifold, the fuel manifold, makes already in it. It should be okay. Should I replace it? Yeah. When? That's the thing. I think I'm gonna try to wait till next time I have to do this job again, probably next year, if it holds well. I don't think that area gets super hot, and I know Loctite 480 can hold quite a lot, but what about reliability? Maybe 1 year you get 70% of the reliability. I agree. Hence, I will replace the injector next year. Let's see. Otherwise, I will do it earlier. I hope I don't have to tow my car, or I know it misfires, and I already checked the misfires in the engine. No misfires, no issue with fuel delivery. All the counts are very steady, and so far so good. Let's see. See you in the next time.